Imagine being born and raised in Madrid, joining one of the country's powerhouse teams, Atletico Madrid at 11, and at 16 making a transfer to one of the biggest teams in England, Manchester United. Imagine winning your first trophy, the FA Youth Cup, at your new club and being regarded as one of their biggest prospects. Then a year later, as the season draws to a close, making your first senior appearance. It has been an interesting few years for Alejandro Garnacho, but today we ask the question, Alejandro Garnacho, in tactical fit or misfit? Hello everyone, I'm Wayne and welcome to Goals by the Numbers, the channel where football meets data. If you're a die-hard fan, a Premier League enthusiast, or someone who loves diving into stats behind the game, you're in the right place. Here we break down match performances, player stats, and key tactical insights to give you a deeper understanding of what's happening on the pitch. If you enjoy football analytics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's get into it. With there being a gap in Premier League matches due to international fixtures, now seems to be a good time to profile a player who seems to be dividing opinion among fans and pundits alike in the last few months. So, Alejandro Garnacho, who is in the fourth year of his Manchester United career, has made 85 appearances for the men's senior team in the Premier League, scoring 14 goals so far. 85 appearances puts him ahead of Varane on 82 and Sancho on 80, but behind Onana and Martinez, who are both on 90. His first season playing in the men's team was in the 21-22 season, where he made 2 appearances, being a 1-1 draw at home with Chelsea and a 1-0 defeat at Crystal Palace. After becoming a mainstay for Manchester United last season, 2023-24, in a period where the team suffered from an unusual high number of injuries, this season he didn't make back-to-back starts until the middle of October, playing away at Aston Villa and home to Brentford. 2 matches later, manager Erik ten Hag was sacked. A new manager was hired and a new role in a 3-4-3-3-4-2-1 began. Garnacho, a player who always looks best when he is running into space and that players, would now have to adjust to a more central role, playing behind the main striker. After breaking into the first team last season, Garnacho's role changed significantly under new management. New manager Ruben Amorim employs a formation that is distinctly different from the 4-2-3-1 Alejandro Garnacho had previously been accustomed to. However, being only 20 years old, there is a strong chance he can adapt over time. On a side note, it's a very interesting approach hiring a manager who plays such a different and distinct formation from most people, especially during the middle of the season. But I digress. Adaptation will not just mean a new position and development of his repertoire, but also mean that he could still play regular football and not be pushed out of the club. Playing on the left of 3, Garnacho would be tasked with providing width, aka running down the side of the pitch with the ball, and where possible cutting inside to shoot with his right foot. At this point, we can think about metrics from a high level and try to figure out what are Alejandro Garnacho's strengths and weaknesses in his game. And hopefully we can highlight the skills that his manager could utilise going forward. As a player who has normally played as a winger / inside forward, there are some statistics that you would want but not necessarily have. For example, aerials won and clearances can be explained as, if you're standing by the touchline, how likely is it that the ball's going to be in the air? A long-range pass is still intended to your feet or chest, and clearances are typically associated with defensive players or a defensive scenario. Okay, so the first thing we need to establish is, where does Alejandro Garnacho sit in comparison to a selection of other players? Those players will of course be channel favourite Mitoma of Brighton, Harvey Barnes of Newcastle, Madueke of Chelsea, and Amad, who also plays for Manchester United. And an average of all 4, just to keep things interesting. None of these players have taken a penalty in the Premier League so far. These stats are all related to Premier League matches specifically, and despite a similar number of matches played this season, we'll try to make sure we include as many per 90 stats as possible. So, goals and assists. This season, Mitoma and Madueke have 7 goals, the most of the group, while Garnacho has 4. Mitoma and Madueke are both on track with their XGs being 7.3 and 7.6. Garnacho has an XG of 5.7, so he's close to being 2 goals behind what is expected he would have scored. Garnacho has 1 assist this season, and an XAG of 2.6, compared to the 6 assists Amad has, with an XAG of 3.9. So Amad has 2 assists more than expected, while Garnacho has nearly 2, minus 0.3 less than expected. So the other players have scored more goals, and in terms of goals scored and XG difference, Garnacho is the furthest behind, the others at 1.7. Garnacho also has the lowest assists to XAG difference of minus 1.6. To be fair, all of the players, and of course including the average, have a negative result except for Amad, who is up 2.1. Per 90. When we look at these stats on a per 90-minute basis, Garnacho has an assist score of 0.05. What that means is, on average, he is expected to contribute 0.05 XAG per match, or, and please, in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, and if my maths is correct, that would be 1 XAG over 20 matches. That surely can't be right. It should also be noted that Garnacho's XG, when added to his XAG, is 0.05, which is exactly the same as Mitoma and Amad. So, shooting. So we have an idea of the amount of goals scored, and in our group, Garnacho has taken 62 shots, just behind Madueke, who has taken 64 shots. And a shot on target percentage of 40.3% is not too far behind Mitoma, who sits on 44.7%. Having only scored 4 goals from 25 shots on target just means chances are unfortunately not being taken. So on to passing. 2 points to note. Progressive carries are not the same as dribbling, but the fact that players move the ball forward 10 yards. And all players have a similarish pass completion percentage, with the highest being 82.9% and the lowest being 75.6%. I actually think this section can be explained in one sentence. Mitoma has made 6 through balls, the others have made 2 or 1. Admittedly, the group do not have an exceedingly high assist count. It's not really their forte, but Mitoma has made more passes than the others, that being 849, and 63 crosses. So he's clearly trying to affect that part of his game. Among the group, the average short passes made is 57.8%, and Garnacho is just below that at 56.8%. So he's in tune with the rest of the group. So goal and shot creation. It's starting to appear that asking Garnacho to shoot less may be the way forward, despite the fact that he's getting quite a good amount of shots on target. His goal and shot creation is the lowest of the group. Should he be taking fewer shots and focusing more on playmaking? As an attacking player by trade, if you're not scoring a goal or creating a goal, what exactly are you doing? So possession. As I said at the beginning, Garnacho is a player who always looks his best when he's running into space and at players, but only 27.7% of his dribbles are actually successful. I should also note at this point that the success percentage and tackle percentage do not often add up to 100% due to the fact that a player can attempt to tackle a player dribbling and miss or not tackle them at all. Yes, it's odd. I know I had to triple check it. I'm sorry. Amad, a teammate, despite being injured for the last few weeks, still has made more dribbles, 72 to 65, and has a dribble success rate of 50%. So, conclusion. We have been through the stats and compared them to others. So the question is, how can Garnacho be put in a scenario where he is the most effective? Assuming the system will not change, and I do not believe Amorim will change, meaning a return to a position as a winger is not possible, I would suggest the following. Adjusting Garnacho's position to prevent him cutting in and shooting from the left, which has already happened as he is now on the right side as a number 10, and more of a focus on progressive carries to get the ball up the field and continue with short passes. That should hopefully result in more shot creating actions, as in he will pass to someone who will pass and assist, assuming that pass will go to Bruno and Amad. but that will in effect aid the team. Per 90, his goals and assists currently are they're nowhere near high enough to warrant him taking so many shots, despite a majority being in target. And if we are reasonable, Cristiano Ronaldo was also at Manchester United at 20 in the 05-06 season. He scored 9 goals and got 6 assists over an entire season. So Garnacho only really needs 5 goals and 5 assists to equal that. The stats wouldn't lead to the fact that he would likely get it, but a good run of form, you never know. At just 20, Garnacho still has time to refine his game. The numbers suggest that a small set of tactical tweaks, focusing less on high volume shooting and more on chance creation, could make him far more of an effective player in this new system. So can he make the leap? Only time will tell. So on to our questions. Do you think Garnacho can adapt to this new system, or would he be more effective in a different role? Our second question. Should Manchester United focus on developing Garnacho in this position, or look for a more natural fit for the role? And our last question, how do you see Garnacho's career developing over the next few seasons? Future star or just another promising talent? Yeah. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more stats-driven football analysis. Thanks for watching Goals by the Numbers, and I'll see you in the next one.